you going, guys and girls? Welcome to the channel. Hope you didn't mind that sort of little bit of an intro. I just thought I'd have a little bit of a play, filming some goofy shit and just having a bit of fun, just editing a little quick video together. In this episode, I'm going to be fitting the wheel tubs that I fabricated in the previous episode. So if you haven't watched that and you're interested, maybe go and jump over and have a look at that. But yeah, for the long time viewers, you would have seen this car sort of go from an untubbed, sort of stocky looking thing to having these big old 32550s shoved under the bum. So I've got my other videos of basically dissecting the rear end, and then there's another one which is part 2, which is actually filling in all the rails and stuff like that after they've been chopped. And now this one's going to finish the one off and actually have the wheel tubs fitted to the car for the final time. So yeah, if you haven't already watched them, go jump over and have a look at them first. Might make this one a little bit more, make a bit more sense. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Cheers guys, thanks. Alright, just showing you guys what I'm up to at the moment. So, these wheel tubs, obviously because they go all the way to the quarter panel, you got to do a little bit of mucking around with the section that sort of tucks in behind the dogleg. This car, because it's got the quarter panels off, they don't really have to worry so much about the overhang coming out this way. And that's another reason why I've got this yellow tape line here, is because that is from this edge here into the rail, or wherever it's going to end up sitting. I'm going to have it going in too far at the moment because I'm going to fill in all these holes and stuff in the parcel shelf, so I'm not really too worried about cutting too much away from there. So I'm going to make it all fit up nice there. But anyway, like I was saying, that's what this tape line is for. So this much is going to be sitting inside the car, and this is obviously the part that goes to the quarter panel. But where I've started working from, so I can get the tub to fit in, is I've got this bit of cardboard all cut out. Now, when you fit these tubs normally, because you can't just push the wheel tub straight in, because obviously we'll have a quarter panel here on a normal car, usually what you have to do is you have to have the front section of this wheel tub missing. So sometimes if you look under a car that's got full tubs, what you actually see is they'll have an extra plate that's sort of been welded in at the front of the tub, somewhere through here, just like a little bit of a triangle sort of shape. And that's the one that sits through here. And the reason why they do that is because when you go and fit the wheel tub, obviously you have to go sort of down, up to the back of the rail and then push the front in. But obviously you're not going to be able to do that because the length of the tub will be longer than the wheel arch opening. So that's just one of those things that you got to do. But like I said, because I don't have the quarter panel, I'm hoping I don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do to start off with is I've obviously taken my template, which, like I was saying before, this is my yellow tape line on that wheel tub. So I've got that bit of cardboard sits up against that part of the original tub, and then it comes to the dogleg. So where that leaves me now is I can now take this off, and in theory I should be able to sit that somewhere like that, and then I'll be able to chop this piece off. So fingers crossed that all works out for me, because I haven't done this before, and I've got a few hours in those wheel tubs, so I don't really want to go and stuff those up to the point where I have to make another pair, but there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Alright, so things haven't quite gone to plan so far, but we're sort of getting somewhere. Now, I ended up having to cut this piece out because, like I was saying earlier, that just was not letting me get the tub in with that being in there, so I had to chop that out. Chopped a little bit too much out of here. Hello, Naki. But yeah, it's coming around okay so far. It still needs a little bit more trimmed out here and there. I've taken too much out of the front of the tub, which I'm not thrilled about, but if I just need to add a little bit of something in there, so be it. I'm not going to, throw the whole tub away just because there's, a little bit of a gap in there. Take that out so it doesn't fall on the cat. But yeah, it is a big wheel tub. But I think it's going to take a bit of work just trying to get it to actually stand up straight how I want it. So it needs to be more up there like that. If it wants to stay there. No, it doesn't. Oh, it's going to fall out. That's sick. Bear with me. Alright, so I've got that and it's not going to fall on my head now. What I was going to say is I'm just focusing on trying to match up these points right here. They're still a little bit not quite where I want them, but I do want them sitting just a little bit in because I want to be able to fill all of this in with weld. I want to be able to weld it all the way through here, if that makes sense. So it gives me a nice little a joint in there, and then when it's all done I can just wipe some sealer in there, and you know, all of that will all just sort of blend in. And the reason why I'm sitting the rail, the tub over the top of the rail, not on it, I just want to gain just that little bit more room in the wheel tub, just for tyre clearance and stuff like that. Because obviously when your wheel goes up, it sort of wants to go up in that sort of direction. So yeah, you sort of need more tyre clearance up here through these areas, not so much down here. But yeah, it's coming around. Alrighty, so I've been getting stuck into this. I've tried to make it fit as best as I possibly can. I've sort of come to the realisation that my template really wasn't all that, you know, mint. But hey, is what it is. A few troubled areas that I had was this spot right here wasn't quite chopped up high enough. So what was happening was the tub was leaning over, and I was trying to sort of compensate that by sort of taking some off through the part of the tub that sits on the rail. So I'm left with a little bit of a gap in a few spots, but hey, it is what it is. There's a little bit of a spot at the front that I'm going to have to fill in. I might try and throw up a little bit of a video just trying to show you guys what I'm talking about as I'm doing it. Probably somewhere around up here, maybe. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to have to add a little bit in the front here. There's a little bit of a gap just here. I'm not sure if I've shown you already that I've already had this part already chopped off, because at the moment that's just tacked in. I needed to trim a little bit out of the back of it, and obviously I needed to chop this off because I wanted to see if I could get the wheel tub in without chopping the front section off here, which is this bit. But as I said earlier, sometimes when you're fitting a full tub like this one, you have to chop this out so you can actually sort of slide it up into the quarter panel. But it is what it is, really. So yeah, I've got this one here. I'm still going to be able to reuse this piece, which is really good. So that one's going to sit up in there, sort of like that, and basically I'll just stitch it back into the tub once this is all sort of where I'm getting it. Now, the reason why I'm doing it this way is this is tacked in at the moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything to fit all around the wheel tub the best I can. If there's any gaps, say like around the parcel shelf, for instance, I'm going to fill all of that in and make it all fit to the wheel tub really nice. And then I'm going to take the wheel tub out again, and then I will do my measuring trick like what I did at the front of the wheel tub here, but with the quarter panel fitted, so I can get all of that all nice and fitted just the way how I want it. And then I'll be able to refit the wheel tub back to where it's known to fit, sort of on the body of the car, and hopefully it'll fit all nice with the quarter panel. So hopefully that's just a little bit of an explanation. I'm not really the best with words, but hey, it is what it is. I'll give you guys a little bit of a look over just at where it is now, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get stuck back into this real soon. Alright, so I haven't really been able to show a whole lot just because obviously working inside the car, bringing the tripod and stuff in, a little bit hard to do. But anyway, this is sort of what I've been doing. So I've got all my bits all chopped out, fitting. Obviously it still needs to have a bit of a push and a pull here and there, but I'll work that around as I sort of tack it all in. But this is sort of how it's going to look from inside the car, obviously without the back seat and stuff in. So I've got this part here, which is this part of the parcel shelf, and then there's this part as well, which you can't really see it on the other side, but there's meant to be 2 holes right here. Obviously because I've moved the tub so far over, most of that hole was gone, so probably just easier and a lot quicker just to get rid of the holes entirely. And because I'll be running a fuel cell in this car, it also helps stop some of the fumes and stuff getting into the cab. Obviously down the track I'm going to be filling in the speaker holes that someone's hacked away. I've left them open at the moment just because when I'm going to be obviously welding this stuff in, it's easy to get clamps into where I'm working now, and also helps a little bit of light just get in through into the boot of the car when I'm doing like the boot hinge mounts and stuff, which I'll be doing soon. But yeah, this is pretty much how it's going to look, so I think that looks pretty neat for what it is. Not a whole lot of time in it, just sort of, you know, a few template making, you know, transferring it to the steel, a few little folds here and there. So we've got one fold here, another fold there, and another fold there, so not a whole lot. A lot of this stuff is just push and pull, so just to match it up with the parcel shelf, but hey, that's where we're at the moment, so yeah. Alrighty, so I've got my boot hinge mount all sorted out. That's all tucked in place. Pretty happy with how that's all looking, so 95% confident that's going to be good enough and that'll work out just fine. I'm not really too fussed about this gap right here at the moment. I think if it really comes down to it, when I actually go to final fit the tub, once everything else is cut and whatnot, if I need to, I'll just put a strip in there or something, but at the moment I'm not really that worried about it. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to weld that up. I mean, it's only a few mil, and I'll be able to get it from this side because obviously I've got the quarter panel off. So yeah, that's it's not a worry. And we're all looking pretty good at the front. Pretty happy with how that's all turned out. So I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to chop this tub out, because remember it's only got a few tacks holding it in. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to get the quarter panel fitting on the car again, and then I will get my template of the shape of the quarter panel and hopefully not destroy this tub by cutting some wonky shape into it. So fingers crossed, and away we go. So this thing got sort of put aside for the day because me and the brother had some painting to do on his stuff, so chucked the cover back on this. But anyway, this is where I sort of left off, because I've got this fitting all pretty well reasonable. It's not perfect, There's a little bit of a gap just around this body line, but I'm not really too worried about it because at the end of the day, all of this is going to get sealed to the quarter panel. Not sure if I'll use like a Sikaflex, like a sealer, or like a urethane, or I'll use a panel bond. I think I'll probably use the urethane because that sort of stays, doesn't quite pull as much, which obviously I don't want to like sort of suck in the quarter panel to it. But that's sort of where that's at. I still need to chop the front of the tub to fit, so I can get this piece all butted in. But I'm going to do that after this is actually like tacked in for the final time. So I still got a fair bit of welding to do, but that's where I'm at now with the tub. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to weld as much of all of this as I can, and I'm going to pop the quarter off, and I'll weld in that boot mount as well, so I can get all that all nice and cleaned up before the tub goes in for the final time, because obviously it's going to be a little bit harder with the tub in the way. But yeah, that's where I'm at. So yeah, really happy with how this is coming around. Hopefully the passenger side shouldn't take me quite as long as what this one's taken me, but hey, I suppose you can take a little bit more time and you can make it better, or you can rush it and it's not quite as good. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it all. So we've got our tub all prepped up, ready to be fitted. We've got the body of the car all prepped up to have a tub to be fitted. All inside here is all internally coated. Everything's sort of cleaned up, bare metal where it needs to be welded, apart from a few odd spots which I'll just touch up basically as I'm doing the job. So what the process is now is I'm going to fit this to the car, and then I'll get it all tacked into place, and then I'll try to fit the quarter panel on, make sure all that fits the way that I want it. And then I'll take the quarter panel off, and then I'll fully weld it all out, and yeah, hopefully it should be happy days. Alrighty, so I got the tub all fitted up now. Thinking that's looking pretty shit hot that is. It's good enough for this one, I reckon. Obviously still have that piece to fill in. Alrighty, so I'm going to get stuck into the passenger side of this wheel tub fitment, so getting this thing into that hole. Now this side's a little bit different because obviously this is the shorter side of the wheel tub. I've mentioned in my other wheel tub videos that because the driver's side, it's a universal tub for the other body style, so they'll have a like the wagon filler neck in the inner half, or sorry, the outer half I should say. So yeah, they basically just make one longer wheel tub, one shorter wheel tub. But anyway, getting on with the job. I'm going to have to basically chop this off, and then I'll sort of just reposition it so it sort of just sits on the tub, so it won't be exactly like the driver's side. Another thing that I'm going to have to do is I'll have to basically cut this out, and same sort of theory as what I do with when I cut this sort of shape into the wheel tub to match the quarter panel. What I do is I get a bit of cardboard and I come from this lip through here, and then I meet it up to this point here, and then yeah, basically I just bit of a textile line and trim it back. So yeah, that's what I'm up to now. Another thing what I'll probably do is
with this wheel tub, I think because I've already done one side, I'm going to make a paper template of this. So I'll get all my my proper height for the rail and stuff like that. Sorry, it's a bit crappy lighting under there. Hopefully that'll make sense. So yeah, then I can actually cut this down to the proper size of what it's meant to be. And yeah, then I can probably also chop this out as well. So then I can actually start fitting the tub onto the car. Another thing that I have to do is I have to chop out the parcel shelf a little bit more. So I can then obviously bring the tub in far enough, because at the moment it's still sort of sitting over where that inner bracing is. And yeah, because I sit the wheel tub over that, obviously more of that's going to have to go. But anyway, enough rambling. I'll get on with it, and hopefully I can start making some progress on this one. Alright, so you're probably wondering why I have my hammer form section that I actually formed the wheel tub over sitting where it is. But because this is the shorter side of the wheel tub on these cars, I've just held this up against this lip here, and I need to trim a little bit out of this bracing up through here so it actually fits the wheel tub. So I'm going to do that now, because that all fits like that pretty well. If I can get it to sit on there pretty well like that. So I've already done a texture line just there, so hopefully that solves my problem and I'll be able to get the wheel tub actually in, because at the moment that's all that's really stopping it. So fingers crossed, and yeah, should be on our way. So one of my little friends has just wanted to create a bit of a mess, because he wants to hide out behind the bench. Hey, look at you, you dusty old thing. Oh well, gives me a reason to clean up under there. See if we can get that fella out. Well, I got him. Hey, look at that. Yeah, you're an angry little bastard, aren't you? Oh, look at that. Yep, made a bit of a mess, but that's fine. Hey, you dirty old bastard. Hey. Shed's no place for a lizard, mate. It's for car building. Oh, we'll let you go, won't we? Okay, so we gave him a quick check over for ticks. Nothing there. Looking all pretty good. I'll let him go under this bush, I reckon. Yeah. Ooh, there he goes. See ya, buddy. Alrighty, so when we're not wrestling lizards, we're working on cars still. Now, this side's been much of basically a repeat of the driver's side. So I've got all this all welded in. Still needs a little bit more of a grind up to make pretty-ish like the other side. Obviously, there's still a few more things that I need to do, but I'm going to focus on getting it cut to fit the quarter panel now. Just so I can get an idea of what it actually is going to look like inside the boot and what have you. So basically what I've done on this side is I've got a paper template, and what I've done is I've just sort of made my template run around this part of the pillar, and then I've measured out the bottom half, and hopefully that's pretty close. So yeah, that's it's just where I'm at the moment. So yeah. I've got this sort of stuff all welded in, got the boot mount done. Still need to pretty that up with a bit of a grind. What I did with this was I actually chopped all of that off, and I've got a little template here. And what I did there was obviously ignore this because that was all chopped off. What I did was I got my template, and I sat that on there like that, so to sit on the wheel tub. And then basically with my bit that I chopped off, because remember that goes all the way down to the floor pan because this is the shorter tub, I then chopped it out of that section that I'd removed from here, and then yeah, basically welded back in the old piece, just trimmed down. So yeah, it's just another one of those little things. Like, yes, I could have just chopped this off on the car, but I mean, it's just a hell of a lot quicker to just whip that off and then just weld it back on later on. So yeah, that's what I've done. Yeah, not really much else to do. Well, not much else to say really. There's plenty of stuff to do. But yeah, that's where I'm at. This side's been a bit of a bastard, just trying to get it to fit up, you know, mirroring it as much as possible from the driver's side to the passenger side. But yeah, that's it's coming around.
Okay, now that we've got everything all tacked into place, we can now fully weld these out. Obviously still need to add in those little pieces that go just in the bottoms of the quarter panels, but I'm not too worried about that right at the moment because I don't know if I'm going to modify the inner of the quarter panel to suit what I'm going to do with the boot floor later on. But yeah, they're in, they're looking pretty good. I've got all these pieces all sort of tied in up under there, and yeah, like I said, ready to start welding those out. Alrighty, that's one side all ground up, as much as possible anyway. Obviously just done the joins around the floor pan. I haven't touched the ones around the boot hinge mount. I'm going to need to get some little 10mm belt sanding belts, and I'll clean them up. But yeah, that's this one pretty well all welded in. Sort of just welded as much as I could through here, around this part of the pillar. Yeah, obviously all inside there's all welded. Cleaned up all this just a little bit just to sort of pretty it up just for the video. Yeah, now I can make my way over on that side and hopefully get these two wrapped up. Alrighty, we're all back together on this one. Everything's sort of been cleaned up with the dioxidine. So if you're wondering why the quarter panels look a little bit more fresh, that's why. Obviously I've done the wheel tubs as well, as you'd see in the other part of the video. So yeah, they're all looking pretty fresh inside there. Not that you can see because it's dark as buggery in there, but you get that. Got the wheels back on. I ended up lifting them up just a little bit so they sit more in the guards. I think that just looks a little bit nicer. I couldn't before because they had the little brace that sort of sits up and around this area. Obviously because these wheel tubs go to the quarter panel through there, obviously I can now move the wheel up higher. So yeah, before it was touching on there, but now it's not, so cool, they can go up. Yeah, just throwing a bit of jewellery on the back. Got an old bumper on there, got the tail lights. Not that they fit the best to this car, but hey, that's it is what it is. I will be putting fiberglass bumpers on this car so I don't get too attached to the chrome. And yeah, got my social influenza light just there, so we can unlock this bad boy and have a look. Can never quite find the hole. Story of my life. So that's them all finished up. Probably just repeating myself at this stage, but yeah, I do have to do something down through here. But at the moment, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the boot floor situation. I may end up extending the boot floor all the way to the quarter panel through here, and then I'll probably do something there, probably put a battery or something back there. Not quite sure just yet. Suppose I've got all that planning to do, but yeah, that's sort of just why I've left them open just like that for now, because yeah, it might save me I don't know, maybe an hour's work, and yeah, just down the track I might have to cut them off, so I'll just leave them open for now. It's not a big deal either way. But yeah, that's them. Pretty happy with all that. They look pretty good. I'll bring that lighter and I'll show you the inside of them. So obviously there's a few more smaller jobs that I need to do before I start fitting the back seat. I have to find a spot for the seatbelt bolts. Need to find a spot for them. Obviously chop around the back seat to get all of that fitting around the tub. Might have to go hunting for a sort of a bit of a rooted back seat. All of the ones that I've got for this car are sort of too good to sort of chop up. Basically what I'll start with is just a bare frame with no foam, no covers, no anything. So yeah, I will have to go looking for one of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it just there. So yeah, they look pretty neat, I reckon. They tied it up fairly well. Alright, that's a wrap up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And yeah, if you've got any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comment section below and I'll try and get back to you. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.